Attention all those born under the sign of Taurus. The events that many have been waiting for since 2020 are beginning to gain momentum. The celestial luminaries do not just provide an opportunity, they radically change the usual course of things, opening new horizons, which before could not even dream of. All obstacles gradually disappear, and what seemed unattainable becomes a reality. The unique location of the planets in June-July 2025 creates conditions in which representatives of this zodiac sign can get rid of insecurity, financial difficulties, and feelings of loneliness. This period is of special importance, and astrologers advise not to miss it to gain inner confidence and freedom of action. There comes a time of important decisions that can not just improve life, but completely transform it. The main thing is to consciously and without hesitation use the given chance. On June 15, an interesting astronomical phenomenon will occur as Mars squares Uranus. Usually this position of the planets can cause nervous tension, but in this case, on the contrary, it will help you free yourself from your shackles. This is a chance to break out of the deadlock that many have been in since 2020, feeling tired and exhausted. Mars in the house of career destroys old fears, pushing you to make bold decisions, whether it's changing jobs, leaving a business that no longer brings satisfaction, or starting your own business. Uranus in the house of self-realization gives you the opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and choose a path that matches your true abilities rather than the expectations of others. There comes a period when the key asset is stability, but it is no longer the oppressive immobility that constrained the representatives of the sign in the past. Now it is a solid foundation that contributes to the multiplication of capital. Spheres related to land ownership, real estate transactions, agrarian sector, jewelry, banking, and safe assets, open new horizons for Taurus. Now is the time to actively make deals, use credit resources, initiate new projects and boldly dive into the stream of favorable opportunities, which themselves go towards those who are ready to act. June marks not just the end of a streak of failures, but the complete eradication of all negative manifestations. Those who have long experienced financial difficulties, loneliness, or were in a state of dependence, will experience dramatic changes. After mid-June, a chain reaction of positive changes will begin, affecting all aspects of life. People in destructive relationships will find freedom. Those who could not establish a steady income will suddenly stabilize their income. Those living in an alien environment will find their place in the sun. June 21st, when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer, Taurus will activate the spheres of communication, family ties, and emotional intimacy. This is a time to restore lost contacts. Do not be surprised if a person who has not been heard from for many years comes into contact. Tauruses have the gift of memory, and they are not forgotten. The sun awakens the flow of sincerity, and lonely hearts can meet their soulmate. In a relationship that has gone through a crisis, a return to former feelings is possible, but already on a new level, without pain and with the realization of true value. In marriage, trust is restored, and next to the partner becomes warm and cozy, not just habitual. Venus, the heavenly patroness of Taurus, awakens in them a deep sense of inner harmony, freeing them from the exhausting pursuit of the approval of others and inspiring sincerity. This is what attracts into their lives true love, devoid of illusions, a love that can become a solid foundation for the creation of a family, the birth of children and finding peace of mind. Taurus undoubtedly deserve such happiness. And if they allow themselves to live according to their true desires in the summer of 2025, the next 12 years will be filled with the same joys and opportunities. On June 27, Mercury forms a favorable aspect with karmic Saturn, which for Taurus marks not just a harmonious combination of energies, but a long-awaited resolution of inner conflict. The question of who to trust and where the line between sense of duty and self-respect lies finally finds its answer. Saturn has been testing Taurus for a long time, sending them betrayals, moral compromises, and humiliation in return for their kindness. But now comes the turning point. The habit of being convenient for everyone should be a thing of the past. Those who have consistently paid for others no longer have to do so. Those who have single-handedly supported a family now have every right to set their own terms. The second astrological zone of Taurus, responsible for the material base, comes into direct support. Money begins to flow not where it should, but where it is truly deserved. The trine, a combination of mind power, specifics, numbers and legal protections, comes into play. It's time to sign documents that have long been put off, zero out debts, renegotiate terms and stop lending money just because your own are asking for it. It's important to remember that people change, but the amount owed remains the same. Mercury brings a harsh clarity to the situation. If Taurus wants to grow and develop, they need to forget about pitying others. Those who don't fit into their lives will leave. Those who inhibit their progress will fall away on their own. This is not cruelty, but a manifestation of a new maturity. If Taurus continues to pull on other people's problems, they will be the ones to throw a stone at, not by their enemies, but by those they consider their own. Taurus' strength lies in realizing the value of their own decisions. For professionals whose work involves documentation, the construction industry, law, consulting services and government agencies, tempting horizons of long-term planning are opening up, allowing projects to be developed years in advance. Employees are given the opportunity to advance their careers by being proactive in requesting higher positions rather than passively waiting for them. Entrepreneurs in private practice gain reliable and loyal clients. Students and learners gain access to valuable connections that bring not only knowledge but also a certain status that is of great importance in today's world. July 7th is marked by an important astrological event, the entry of the planet Uranus into the sign of Gemini. This moment is of special significance for the representatives of the sign of Taurus, as Uranus leaves their sign, where it has been subjecting them to trials, destructions, challenges, and tests of strength for 7 years. Uranus now enters the financial sector of Taurus, marking the end of a period of hardship. Those who have been financially disadvantaged get a chance to improve their financial status. Professionals who have been working in the unofficial sector of the economy get a chance to legalize their income, getting rid of the fear of tax audits, fines and pressure from regulatory bodies. Those who are stuck at one level of development get a powerful impetus to overcome stagnation. However, it is important to remember that Uranus does not tolerate attachment to outdated patterns of behavior. He does not ask for permission, but simply destroys the old. Therefore, if Taurus stubbornly adhere to old patterns, they risk being left behind. In this case, they will have no one to blame but themselves. Unwavering and thorough, representatives of this zodiac sign are usually characterized by enviable constancy, but now the celestial forces themselves are pushing them to change, promising not just security, but also a tangible advantage. Soul wounds rooted in the past, gradually recede, and it is not out of pity, but thanks to personal growth, which allows you to finally find the long-awaited freedom. There is no longer a need to cling to outmoded relationships and seek approval from others, because everyone becomes the center of his or her own universe. Realizing this fact gives strength to forgive, but not to return to the past. Kindness should not border on naivety, and it is now comes the realization that compassion for yourself is much more important than blind loyalty to those who used kindness before. This is a time of inner transformation, and those who accept this challenge will embark on a new 12-year cycle of development. Those who choose to ignore the call of change risk being trapped in outdated expectations and illusions. The universe offers a unique chance to break out of the circle of pain and suffering, but only the person himself decides whether to use this ticket or to stay in the familiar swamp of nothing happens. It is important to pay attention to the fact that on July 13th, karmic Saturn in the phase of retrograde motion will influence a certain area of life, and stability will be threatened. Everything on which life has been built, habits, secret connections, and moral compromises, will cease to work. If, like a typical representative of the sign, a person in recent years has taken on an impossible burden, silently paid for other people's mistakes and believed in the return of good, it's time to forget about it. Instead of gratitude, you can face the consequences of your own weakness. Representatives of this sign of the zodiac are distinguished by the fact that do not throw words to the wind, endure to the last, know how to count money and put trust above profit. However, if there is no shift in consciousness, these qualities will turn into vulnerability. The universe presents you with a choice: either break old commitments and patterns or face serious upheaval. Financial issues for Taurus are now particularly acute. If representatives of this zodiac sign, as is often the case, invested in the well-being of the family, strengthening partnerships and creating a secure future, while enduring certain financial difficulties, they should be especially careful. Those who continue to support dependents, even if they are close relatives, will face a serious outflow of resources, up to a complete blockage of income. Financial security will be on the side of only those Tauruses who, between July 13th and July 22nd, are able to firmly say, stop, to everything that pulls them down. Saturn, as we know, does not tolerate frivolity. Matters related to home and property also require increased attention. The 12th house of the horoscope is known to symbolize hidden losses of property. Those who in goodness of heart provide housing to friends or acquaintances, risk facing losses or betrayal. Signing unverified documents can lead to the loss of real estate or getting into debt bondage. In this situation, tight control and legal support become the main allies of Taurus in protecting their property. Trustworthiness, usually peculiar to Taurus, in this period can play a cruel joke with them. Deceptions and lies of those they once trusted will surface, especially in matters of work, finances and personal relationships. Those who by habit continue to believe dishonest people, risk a painful blow. And only those who are able to close the door of trust in front of deceivers will be able to free themselves from their influence. Health issues also come to the forefront. Ignoring the recommendations of the horoscope can lead to cramps, pressure spikes, problems with the neck, back and stomach. All unspoken emotions and worries can manifest themselves through physical ailments. Taurus need to strictly follow the regime of the day, get enough sleep and eat properly, avoiding junk food. There should not be any overbearing. Physical stability will be the key to an emotional breakthrough. Otherwise, neglect of health can lead to a permanent dependence on medication. The streak of failures has come to an end, as fate itself says. All the trials, defeats, betrayals and sleepless nights spent in silent resistance have not gone unnoticed. The universe, witness to these events, has decided to put an end to it. There is no longer a need to carry the burden of other people's problems and prove your worth, everything has been proven. It is time to taste joy, prosperity and absolute freedom, both internal and external. 12 years of carefree living are waiting, but to do so, you need to remain honest with yourself. One should not return to places where one has experienced pain and suffering, and try to help those who are unable to appreciate support. It is necessary to avoid communication with those who constantly complain and give unsolicited advice. You should respect yourself, your work and your energy, and make decisions without regrets. A new life begins right now and will be as a person creates it, not looking back at the past, but moving only forward.